A long time ago, in a valley surrounded by peaceful mountains and ancient forests, lived a young man named Elior. He wasn't unlucky. He wasn't hopeless. But for reasons he didn't understand, life always seemed to push him away from everything he wanted. Every dream he chased dissolved. Every plan he made collapsed. Every time he felt close to a breakthrough, something blocked his path. And deep in his heart, he carried a question many people carry in silence. Why does my life feel stuck? Why does everything slip away from me? Elior worked as a woodcutter in the valley, earning just enough to survive. But he always dreamed of something greater, something meaningful, though he couldn't explain what that something was. He only felt a quiet pull inside his chest, a whisper that said, "There is more. There is more for you." But whenever he tried to follow that whisper, he hit a wall. One morning, after losing yet another opportunity, he sat on a hillside, staring at the sky with frustration tightening his chest. "Why?" he whispered. "Why do my plans always break? Why do doors close for me? What am I doing wrong?" But the sky stayed silent, or so he thought. Later that evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, Elior wandered into the forest to clear his mind. The trees glowed orange, the air smelled of pine and earth, and the world felt strangely quiet, as if waiting. He walked deeper and deeper until he found a small clearing he had never seen before. In the center stood an old wandering sage, tending a small fire. The sage looked up with gentle eyes and said, "You're carrying a weight that does not belong to you." Elior froze. "I don't know you." "You don't need to," the sage replied softly. "I can hear the storm inside your heart from far away." Elior hesitated, then sat down across from him. There was something calming about the old man, something that made his heart breathe easier. "Tell me," the sage said, "what troubles you?" Elior stared at the fire. "Everything. Nothing goes the way I want. Every time I plan, life destroys my plans. I try, I fail. I try again, and I fail again. I'm tired. Tired of fighting for things that never work." The sage smiled gently. "Maybe life isn't destroying your plans. Maybe it's protecting you." Elior frowned. "Protecting me? From what?" The sage pulled out a small wooden seed and placed it in Elior's hand. "Look at this seed. It wants to grow into a tree. But imagine if it could speak." He deepened his voice, mimicking the seed. "I want to grow now. I want to be tall now." Then he returned to his calm tone. "But the earth says, not yet, not here, not this way." The seed becomes frustrated. It tries to sprout in the wrong soil. The rain washes it away. The birds kick it aside. The wind tosses it around. He looked into Elior's eyes, and the seed thinks everything is going wrong. But in truth, life is moving it to better soil, somewhere it will not only grow, but flourish. Elior stared at the seed. "So everything that went wrong was actually protection?" The sage nodded. "Sometimes God blocks the path not to punish you, but to redirect you. Sometimes the door closes because behind it is something too small for the person you're meant to become. Failures are not rejections, they are redirections." Elior took a shaky breath. "If that's true, where am I being redirected?" "You want the map before the journey," the sage chuckled. "But if God showed you the plan too soon, you would either run from it or cling too tightly and ruin it." Elior whispered, "I just don't want to waste my life." "You're not wasting anything," the sage said. "Delays are preparation. Disappointments are repositioning. Broken plans are hidden blessings. When God is silent, he is building something. And when everything falls apart, the real story begins." They walked through the forest until they reached a massive fallen tree. It looked dead, hollow, destroyed. "This tree was struck by lightning," the sage said. "People thought it died, but look." Behind the fallen trunk, a young tree, vibrant and strong, was growing. What looked like destruction, the sage said, was actually transformation. Elior touched the new sprout. "So even sudden pain can be the beginning of something?" "Yes. Sometimes God breaks your plan before the plan breaks you. Sometimes he removes things not to hurt you, but to free you. Sometimes he delays your dream because the dream or you is not ready. They reached a still lake that reflected the stars. The sage said, "When you stand too close, your reflection blurs. Step back." Elior stepped back, and the stars became clear. In life, you are standing too close to your pain. Step back, and you'll see the whole picture. Elior asked, "What if God's plan isn't what I want?" The sage smiled. "Then what you want is too small. You're thinking like a villager. God is thinking like a king." "And how do I know something greater is waiting?" Elior whispered, "Because you are not done. If your story was over, your desire would die. Your dream survives everything trying to kill it. That is how you know it's meant for you." Elior felt tears gather. "What if I fail again?" "You won't walk alone this time. When God plans something for you, nothing can stop it. Not people, not timing, not mistakes, not your past. If God wrote your story, even the broken chapters have meaning." They sat in silence by the glowing water. There will be days when you feel lost, days when you feel forgotten, days when nothing makes sense. These are not signs of abandonment, they're signs of transition. The caterpillar does not know the wings are coming. The seed does not know the tree is coming. You do not yet know the life that is coming. Elior whispered, "What do I do now?" You live, you breathe, you keep walking. You stop fighting life. You release what is gone. You trust what is coming. And one day, you will understand why every delay, disappointment, and heartbreak was necessary. He pointed to the dawn rising behind the mountains. For now, walk toward your sunrise. Elior stepped into the golden morning. Nothing around him had changed, but everything inside him had begun. His real journey, his real purpose, his real transformation was about to unfold. What he thought was falling apart was actually falling into place. God had a better plan for him, and he has a better plan for you too.